2025.
Well,
best we can do.
I mean, what else are you going to do about it?
That's right. Do nothing. You're going to continue to move forward.
Time flies. I just can't believe it's 2025.
I cannot believe.
I mean, I remember back to.
I've been alive that long.
So. I know. It's like when I was, in high school, I don't think I would have thought I was going to make it this long. So.
They made futuristic movies about 2025. We're like, well, God, that's 150 years from now.
And here we are. Here we are. Well, today we've got kind of I think a distillery feature today, and that distillery is Green River Distilling Company, based out of Owensboro, Kentucky. And let me tell you, that is a cool little town.
Yeah, I got to head that direction at some point.
We, Amanda and I got away for a weekend there a few weeks back, and we're just kind of looking, to get away for a couple of days. And we like live music.
Mm-hmm.
And the Bluegrass Museum and Hall of Fame is in Owensboro.
Okay.
Now, I mentioned this to a buddy of mine who's a bluegrass fan, and he's like, there are so many different bluegrass museums and Hall of Fame. I mean, we have one down the road from
That's
where
right, we do. I've been there several times.
Bill Monroe, down
yeah.
at Bean Blossom. But we went down there. There was there was a bluegrass tribute to Jerry Garcia.
Okay.
And Kitchen Dwellers. I don't know if you've heard of them, but I've seen them a couple times. One of my favorite bluegrass bands.
Yeah.
I think that they do a phenomenal job. But they were playing, and there was a few others, and there was a couple night affair, and it was fantastic. And it just so happened Owensboro has Green River, so it's like, this is where my wife is amazing. She's like, hey, she's always looking for distilleries to places when we go places.
She should really be a travel agent.
I think she would really do a good job.
I think she'd do outstanding at that,
especially like experiential type travel. Which when we go places, we try to find the mom and pop restaurants, the distilleries, the sort of the local vibe. Try to tap into that. So you should go. You should definitely go down.
Yeah, good.
It's a good little town.
Oh, I think it is. I mean,
and we stayed at, I think it was the Hampton Inn, which sits right on the river. Wasn't crazy. It's right next to the Bluegrass, and they have music events there, and it's a small venue. So I know you like music too.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So, how close was the Green River Distillery from there?
It's a couple miles.
That's not bad.
It's not walking distance, but it's close.
On a rough night, it could be. If
you needed to, you could make it happen. But yeah, it was a quiet little place.
Yeah.
A lot of history. They take a lot of pride in their distillery number, and they put it everywhere. Their DSP, which stands, I don't remember the letters stand for, -KY. So this says distillery.
Okay.
Of some sort. The letters probably all mean something. KY means Kentucky, but their number's -10.
So they're the 10th?
10th issue distillery.
In the whole state of Kentucky?
In the whole state of Kentucky. They do numbers a little bit different now, and their bottle, looks like a horseshoe. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
And they gave us a little coin, like you could play a game, like flip the coin back and forth. Horseshoe just kind of, symbolizes the Kentucky heritage and horses, but also, a symbol of good luck and all that sort of thing. So just kind of been a symbol that they've had for a really long time.
So they've been around for a while. I mean, if you're the 10th distillery in Kentucky.
Sort of. They were, I don't remember when they started, but they started on the Green River, which isn't in Owensboro, but it's close.
Okay.
And then I don't remember the gentleman's name. I'm sure if you go to their website, you'll get the whole history lesson. But they moved the facility to Owensboro, and then there for a while. I think around Prohibition, they kind of went out of business, so to speak. But the owner of the brand kept renewing their license so they could keep that number. Okay. And then a handful of years, well, a lot of years later, it came back as a distillery, and it wasn't called Green River when it came back. Again, I'll refer you to the history of their page. But then maybe a handful of years ago, they have I think Bardstown Bourbon Company.
Yeah.
Acquired them or invested in them, or somehow there's a financial relationship.
Yeah.
So they're kind of like siblings to one another. So Bardstown Bourbon Company sort of revived the Green River name. But anyway, there's a lot of great history in the whole brand. And today we have, I think pretty much their full lineup. Now, one of the things, and we'll get into this on our fourth tasting, they do a lot of contract distilling for people.
Yeah.
But they cannot disclose who they do it for, except for one, and we'll talk about that here in a minute.
I think it's interesting that the story explains it. What you said explains it, because really Green River, who puts out, to me, pretty good offerings, you would have thought they were newer.
Yeah.
You would have thought within the last 10 years they were newer.
Yeah.
But they apparently had a long history in Kentucky with a number like that. So that does explain a lot.
Yeah, but what we know as Green River today, I would say, is a newer brand.
Okay.
But there is a nice storied history for sure. And we kind of got these lined up. And the nice thing I think about Green River, they're really, really reasonable in price.
Reasonable. Oh, my gosh, yeah.
I think all of these, the full proof might be a little bit higher, but I think which we're about to sip here, the Kentucky Straight Bourbon, I think it's like $35. I think the rye is right around there. I think the full proof might be a little bit higher, but they're really, really, and they're pretty easy to find. So if you see Green River,
pick it up.
Well, I guess you'll listen to our feedback here in a moment, but definitely pick it up. So the first one we're going to get into is the Kentucky Straight Bourbon, sour whiskey mash, non-chill filtered, 90 proof. So usually a little bit lower proof than what I typically like to dive into, but we'll dive into it here and formulate some opinions. It's just classic bourbon. This is like,
so I can pull out the sweetness, but the sweetness to me is almost like a faint vanilla with some stone fruit, whether it be apricot.
It's not an overpowering fruit.
No, it's not. It's just they're light notes.
It's like a nice ripe stone fruit, something that's going to be a little squishy. Whether that's a plum or an apricot, I get a little bit of that. I get some corn notes on this too.
Yeah.
And I don't remember their mash bill off the top of my head. I don't think it says on the bottle. I don't think they're secretive about that. But the fun thing that we got to do when we went down there, we did a tour, and they have a whiskey thieving tour. So you get to actually thieve some whiskey from a barrel and drink it straight from a barrel. Now, some places do that.
So you thieve it right to a glass. That's neat.
Sometimes you can do that at places, and you can actually purchase a barrel like that. Now, they didn't offer that, but I think they said they're going to start exploring that. And the other cool thing about Green River is they're planning to have a Whiskey Row experience in downtown Louisville.
That'd be cool. That'd be good for them.
Yeah,
that'd
be good. But some plum, maybe apricot.
Yeah.
I don't think it's peach. I think it's more in the plum apricot variety for me.
Great nose.
A little bit of corn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sweetness is there.
Yeah.
See what that goes in.
Yeah. I get sweet tarts. I mean, it's...
You know what?
Like Smarties.
Yeah. It is that sweet. You're right.
It's pretty sweet.
It has it is. It's like chewing on Smarties and you get them all powdered up in your mouth. Yeah.
And I don't normally like something that's sweet.
But I'll tell you what, if you are a fan of the sweetness of like a Buffalo Trace, this is for you.
I think so too.
I mean, this is
and this is the not the Buffalo Trace, the namesake bourbon. It's going to be similar proof point if I recall.
Yeah.
It also has a sweet tart type note to it.
Yeah,
but I would say it's pretty similar.
This is very similar. It's good. It's smooth. It's not overbearing on the heat.
I get a little vanilla on the back.
You do? Yeah.
I don't get the fruit so much on the palate.
No, I get more of that light vanilla that kind of carries through. So you're right. It kind of starts kind of sweet tarty and then kind of finishes with a real dull vanilla.
Yeah.
Almost like a vanilla bean.
Yeah.
So,
All right, ready to move to the next one?
Yeah, let's see what the next one has.
All right, the next one we got is, and this is one of my top whiskeys of 2024, as it turns out. This is the Kentucky Straight Rye Sour Whiskey Mash. And this one comes in at 95 proof. I don't think it tells me the mash bill. Again, I don't think they're secretive about it. I just don't remember what it is. I want to say this is a 95.5 rye, but don't quote me on that one. But here we go.
I get almost like a clove spice.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably the most dominant. And there's like almost maybe some pastry notes in there a little bit for me. Like a scone.
Yeah, I can get a scone out of that.
Like maybe a cinnamon scone.
Yeah.
Because there's some butteriness.
There's butteriness, yeah.
Clove is there.
It's interesting because I don't get a lot of butter off other ryes.
No, not usually.
So this is a unique offering, which is good.
It's really good nose.
Yeah.
All right, I'm doing it. So to me, the palate, the taste matches the nose really well.
It does. I get a little bit of pepper up front.
Yeah, I do.
I get that peppery spice right on the front. Now it leaves quickly.
Yeah.
It's an extremely smooth rye. It's not. There's nothing in it overbearing. There's nothing that's too hot. There's nothing that's kind of pushes out the other notes for me.
But what I like about it is, I know it's a rye.
Mm-hmm.
It's got all the pros of a rye without the negatives.
Correct. Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And sometimes I like that burn going down my throat, but sometimes that creates some indigestion.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
and this one, the burn does not follow you all the way down.
I mean, it gets to about right here for me.
And it stops. Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't go all the way down.
There's some ryes that have like a bitter back end after that. This doesn't have any of that.
And I don't think it, like, sometimes you can drink a rye and it almost has like a bourbon flavor profile.
Yeah.
I don't think this drinks like a bourbon.
Not at all. I agree with you.
So I can tell it's definitely different than a bourbon.
Yeah.
But it's really good, I think. I mean, that's, like I said, it was one of my favorites in 2024. And, to get a rye at the mid $30 price point, it's a 95 proof. Again, I'm usually north of 100 proof, but that's a sipper.
That's a sipper.
That's an all day.
That's an
every day.
Yeah, every day. We'll say every day.
Every day, not an all day.
We don't condone all day drinking.
Well,
I mean,
be responsible. Make good choices. All right, we're ready to go to the third. All right, so this is their full proof Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. So ostensibly, it's going to be this. The first one we had, but full proof. So it's coming in at 117.3 proof.
So that will be interesting.
I guess we should have compared and contrasted those a little bit. Noses are similar for sure.
Definitely.
I mean, I do get the higher proof on this.
You do. The proof comes across.
But I'm not getting anything, unique. I think some of that stone fruit that we talked about, some of that corn, it's a very, very similar nose.
I mean, it has a sweet nose for it.
It does.
And a lot of times stuff at that proof level loses or hasn't produced the sweetness of something around that 90 to 100 proof.
Right.
This does. I mean, this has like you said, you can find the mash bill out on the website.
Because I don't find it's, I mean, maybe there's a hint more of ethanol on the nose than their standard variety, but not.
But I would be surprised if there's less than 60 to 70% corn in this because the sweetness.
I want to say there was 70%.
Okay, then that makes sense. That makes complete sense.
But that's totally a memory that I could have fabricated on the spot. But I want to say that was.
Yeah. But yeah, the notes from the first offering are here.
Yeah. All right, I'm doing it. That's to me that smarty, sweet, tarty note
Yeah,
is there,
it's there. To
but
me,
it's not the dominant.
no, it's not. I think the heat lingers a little bit longer for me on this.
Most definitely.
And that's probably just because this is the full proof. You're up at 117 or so proof on this. So, but I still get a little bit of that light vanilla mixed with Smarties. It's an odd combination, I know, but it definitely has that sweetness there that I wasn't expecting at 117.
No, and it's hard to tell this based on the volume left in the bottle.
Yeah,
but because I'm a proof person, I'm gonna seek out the full proof.
Yeah, I would too.
More than this. This is perfectly fine. But I like the proof. I like the elevated proof more on the full proof for sure.
Yeah, I agree. And then there's, I know Jesse's stepdad, huge Buffalo Trace guy.
Yeah,
he would love this.
Well,
this would be right in his wheelhouse.
Yeah, when his birthday comes up, you'll have to find him one of those.
Give him a case or so,
or start with the bottle. Probably start with the bottle. Because I think it's if you know somebody that likes Buffalo Trace, sometimes people are
they get them in their mind they have to have Buffalo.
Yeah. So give them something different.
Yeah.
Pour it to him blind.
Yeah, and tell me the difference.
And compare it against his Buffalo Trace and see which one he picks. Yeah. But I like the elevated proof on it.
Yeah.
It's sweet.
It is sweet, and that's what surprises me for the proof. The proof's at 117, and it has the sweetness and it has that vanilla hints. And wasn't expecting that.
I wasn't either. All right, so we're ready to move to the line. All right, so we did a video not that long ago talking about musician and celebrity whiskeys, and you had mentioned this in that video, and as it turned out, when we went, soon thereafter, we were down at the Green River Distillery, and they sell this in their gift shop, and this is Row 94 Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. The thing that Green River kind of alerted us to, they don't divulge who else they contract to distill for, but they say anytime you, of course, see this DSP-KY-10, it's theirs.
Okay.
And this comes in at 94 proof. So this is Dierks Bentley, his whiskey.
Yeah.
And so this gives us a clue into their other, because they don't vary their mash bills at all.
No.
They just have like a couple mash bills. And this actually tells us it's 70% corn, 21 rye, and 9% malted and row barley. I think they have a wheated.
They do have a wheated
bourbon too, but I didn't pick that one up.
Yeah, they do have a wheated.
So they might have one other, but essentially this should be the same mash bill as these two bourbons.
Yeah.
Just a different proof point.
And I know you guys probably can't see this, but I really like how that says on the back, 3 ingredients and the truth. If you are a country music historian like myself, real country music is what? 3 chords and the truth.
It is.
So
I mean, you got the cowboy chords,
yeah,
and somebody's singing about their dog, their girlfriend, their pickup truck, or maybe all 3.
And you hope your dog and your girlfriend are the same person. So that's what you're hoping.
You hope so. And you got a guy like Dierks Bentley. I mean, that's just classic, good old country music right there. So, all right, let's hope. I mean, I already know this is going to be good because it's made by Green River.
Yeah, the nose is outstanding.
But it should be kind of an in between of the full proof and their.
That's right. That's exactly
because of the proof point. Should be. I can't imagine it would be any different.
To me, I get the vanilla bean even a little stronger.
Yeah, and I don't know if I don't remember if we talked about age statements on any of these. It doesn't say, does it? So that could be a variable. There could be a different age.
That's right. That could
on these. I don't know if we know that, honestly, and I don't see it on the labels. All right, so what do you get on the nose?
So I get a vanilla bean.
The vanilla is more
prevalent,
more dominant on this for sure.
The the sweetness comes through. So there's that hint of corn there.
But it's different.
It's different. I mean, this is, and I know that the mash bills are similar between these three. The proof is what's kind of driving force. And what's this proofed at?
90?
90. So
that's
this
94.
94.
I got to believe there's different age. Because the noses, like, go back and smell those other two. The noses are different. Like, to me, I get more, like, when I go back and smell these, I almost get more oak on these. I get more barrel.
That's exactly what I got there. Barrel. And more.
It's weird.
What's interesting, so on this one, my nose now on the full proof, if you've ever had a soap or a candle that is supposedly bourbon,
yeah,
that's kind of what I get on the full proof.
Yeah.
The nose on this is more of a vanilla bean to me, with a sweetness.
There's a little bit of sweetness, but vanilla bean. There's something else in there too. Let's just go with vanilla bean because I'm hunting for it, but I'm going to give it a taste and maybe that'll become clear. I mean, no surprise. I still get a little bit of sweet tart.
Yeah.
But I think the vanilla is more prominent.
It is more prevalent. On the front of my palate, there's more heat than I expected at 94 proof, which I'm okay with. I like that. I would say for a celebrity whiskey,
it's the best one.
This may be the best one I've had.
It's not even close.
Dirk, you knocked it out of the park with this one. So,
well, I mean, you did a good job. You partnered with
the right people on this, and this is really good. I mean, it's.
And I don't know how easy it is to find this out in the wild.
I haven't seen it out in the wild. I know you were able to grab me a bottle when you were down
there. I did.
But this is really good. I mean, the vanilla on this comes through. It has to be an age, whatever the age is. This may be the right wheelhouse for this at a 94 proof. But I like all these offerings.
I do too.
I mean, Green River is hitting some home runs right now.
I think so too. And it's one of those ones where I think the price point is really, really good. Like most of their offerings, they're gonna be in that almost not bottom shelf, but definitely in that budget, that $30 to $40 price point. Mm-hmm. And that's a sweet spot for them to be in because I think they stand out.
Oh, I stand out. I mean, these are.
I'm trying to think of something else that's at a $35 price point that is as good as any one of these.
No,
Now this one's a little bit more expensive.
Right. But if we'd have had this with our celebrity ones that we did a few weeks back, winner.
Not even close.
Not even close.
Not even close.
Now, I would like to see these, like if we do, where we were talking about maybe doing some bucket shows where we do.
By category?
Yeah, by price category.
Yeah.
These will do very well, I'm assuming. I would be interested to see.
Yeah.
We have to get Amanda to do a full, complete blind
for us.
Yeah,
we'll have to do those blind for sure.
But this would have won a celebrity. It wouldn't even been close.
No. Not even
that
close.
is a really good offering. I'm interested to see if they produce any additional things in this line.
Now, supposedly, they offer single barrels from time to time. But I don't know if these are distillery only types of things or what have you. Supposedly, when we were there, of course, it's just the story. Yeah. Oh, you should have been here yesterday. We just had a blah, 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 blah. So I gave one of the guys there my number, and I said, hey, if you come across something, nudge, give me a call. Right. So we'll see. I'm not going to hold my breath. But I think a single barrel, especially considering we had that experience where we did the thieving and there were single barrels. Like we tried the single barrel. We tried 3. So it must have been the wheated, their normal, and then the rye. And like, I'd love to have this in a single barrel.
Oh gosh, it'd be outstanding.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yep.
So anyway, check out the Green River. Cool bottle, cool story, great little place. Owensboro, Kentucky, if you're near anywhere near central Indiana or southern Indiana, it is not that far away. Yep. And it's a little weekend trip. Take your significant other, find some music at the Bluegrass Music Hall of Fame, go to the Green River. There's a couple great little restaurants in the downtown Owensboro. It's a good little town, and it sits right on the Ohio River. It's a great little trip. So go check it out. Enjoy it. Have a great time. Yeah. And thank you all for tuning in to the Mojo Whiskey Bar. Again, like, share, subscribe, thumbs up. Until next time.